Bluish Chapter 3. Supper time. Dreeny didn't want to hurry. She just wanted to take her time telling her mom about it. She didn't want to tell it all at once. Natalie, cool Bluish. Dreeny, if you have something to tell me, then tell me, don't fool around. Make Willie stop calling me Drain, she does it all the time. Is that it? Arguing with your little sister? No. If you have something to tell me, her mom said again. Guess you're tired, Dreeny said. That's why you're short with me. Bluish. I hate her, Dreeny thought. Scary sickness, and I was afraid it'd rub off on me. Maybe she can still be my friend, but I don't know how. All the moon glow. Her mom paused to give her a look. Made Dreeny laugh nervously. Dreamboat, I'm not being short with you, but changing the subject, her mom said. You can set the table before your dad gets home. Dinner will be ready after that. So Dreeny just started in. Bluish, her little puppy. Dreeny spoke carefully to her mom while her mom made dinner. Just the two of them in the small, neat kitchen. She's the only one in school with a wheelchair, Dreeny told her mom, and she described how this girl stood out, or sat out. Outside, after school, in her wheelchair, Bluish sat there in the gray while it snowed big flakes, beautiful like Christmas. Snow on her ski jacket. Bluish had on pink mittens, wore pink fuzzy hat. And so, her mom asked. Dreeny felt funny inside. She almost couldn't get the words out. She calmed herself. Then she took a deep breath and let it out. Mom, it was like a cloudy day, and seeing her, Moonglow is what she reminds me of. And scary looking, and in a pink hat and pink mittens. Her jacket was fuchsia color, and she is so pale. Well, for heaven's sake, Dreeny. Her mom's expression showed she could see the Bluish child was caring about her. Mommy, and she's got no eyebrows either. Her veins show through her face, all skinny trails. Picture this, Mommy. She's got no hair. Kids say she's way bald, so she wears these funny caps or hats down over her head. Her mom looked thoughtfully at her. Well then, she's sick, Dreeny. I mean, bald. Her hair is falling out, or already fell out. Bluish? Maybe a childhood leukemia. You know, it happens, her mom said. She's in school, so she must be better, her mom said. She lost her hair from the strong chemotherapy, I suspect. Likely her hair will grow back. Dreeny sat for a long time looking at her mom. What if it won't grow back? She finally thought to say, wow, wouldn't that be gross? So gross. And thought, Bluish wanted me to go home with her. It probably will grow back, her mom assured her. I don't want to talk about her anymore, Dreeny said. A kid with cancer? Being really sick is no fun for any child, Dreeny. Dreamboat. And you mustn't be afraid of her because she looks different. You could be nice to her. What's her name? I mean, treat her like you would treat any other school friend. Smirking, Dreeny said, I saw this little third grade kid just like Willie going down the hall, and he ups and bites another kid. No kidding. Mr. Darcy saw what happened. The bitten kid was screaming and crying. Man, did that biter kid get it. Okay, her mom said. You didn't want to talk about the girl anymore? I don't care anything about her. Why should I? Dream. Scary, Bluish. Just because she's in a wheelchair. Dreeny, don't single her out because of her. Don't single her out because of it. I didn't, Dreeny said. She was already on to something else. Mommy, Tuli always wants to stay for supper. Well, let her. No! I mean, that her grandma Gilla won't get to eat until later. Tuli has to fix food for her grandma. She gets on my nerves sometimes. I get tired of worrying about her. Oh, Dreeny, you sound so old. She just wants to be around a family. But it's my family, and I want it to myself. She pouted until she had to laugh at herself. Her mom laughed too. Set the table for me, her mom said. Can I go down and wait for Dad? Her mom looked at the clock. It's dark out. It's not dark in the lobby, and Mr. Palmer is there. Then stay inside the locked doors with Mr. Palmer. Don't go out in the street. I won't. It's too cold. Where's she going? Willie yelled, coming into the kitchen. To the moon, baby Chile, Dreeny said. You can't come. Set the table. Dreeny, her mom said. I'll be glad when she grows up, Willie told her mom. I'll be glad when you grow up, Dreeny said back. You too. Not another word, either of you, her mom warned. They stayed quiet. Willie took Dreeny's place. When she got up to set the table, Dreeny set it in fast time. And as she left the apartment, finally, she heard her little sister tell about the nerdy stock market class and how she loved the shapes of things and how they changed all the time, the things that a kid could think of. Downstairs, Dreeny told Mr. Palmer, I'm waiting on my dad again. He's always later when it's zero cold and icy. He has to come all the way up from downtown. Mr. Palmer nodded. He didn't say anything. He looked sleepy, sitting in his chair by the locked lobby doors. I got my key, she told him. I'm just going out to the front. Mr. Palmer kept quiet. She knew it wasn't his job to look out for her. Dreeny peered through the outer doors, up and down the street. Mr. Palmer was to her back, and that made her feel safe. From what? From anybody, she thought. Anybody with bad plans. People rushed by in the cold, huddled in their coats, newspapers, grocery bags, getting home faster so the cold couldn't get them. She peered around and saw the lights of Broadway, all kinds of holiday lights, made her jump up and down inside. She stepped outside for a fast minute. She looked up and down the street, but saw no one. The street was clearing of people. Winter evenings and empty streets in a city so big. She turned back, went inside the outer doors, took out her key. Someone came in behind her. She froze. Her mind went dead and she felt the cold. Dreeny. Daddy! Oh, you scared me. You're out here and you know you shouldn't be. But I looked up and down and there was no one. I came across the street through the parked cars. Anybody could do that, and you wouldn't see them. Remember what I told you? Look 3 ways when you look out the doors, left and right and across. I forgot about across, she said, but you need to remember. I'll remember. I won't go out and look anymore. I promise. And she meant it. How's my girl? He asked when they went in. Fine, Daddy, she told him. He spoke to Mr. Palmer a minute about the weather, about the New York Knicks, basketball. Then he and Dreeny took the elevator. Dreeny told her dad about Tuli and about this girl who had her own chair on wheels. I like the way you put that, he said. It makes her, well, maybe a new kind of individual. Yeah, that's right, Dreeny agreed. It surprised her how easily she could tell things to her dad. But then she didn't tell him some things, like how she felt about Bluish. Her name is Natalie, she said. Mom says she has leukemia, or she had it. Her dad glanced at her. She was staring at the floor. I bet she's better, though, he said. She's in school. Guess so, she murmured. She asked me to come home with her, was what Dreeny didn't tell him. He put his arm around her. The elevator opened, and they went out. Dreeny, are you all right? You worried about Natalie, huh? She's your friend? She threw up in class. It was gross, Daddy. I mean, ew. Kids just went nuts. Scary Bluish. That's too bad. But anybody can get sick. The flu. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. Daddy, do kids get sick and die, I mean, real easily? No, not at all. Kids are tougher than anybody. Dream, she's in school with you. And quickly, before she could tell him how scary it all was, he changed the subject. You haven't told me what you want for Christmas. You won't get what I want, she wanted to say. You and your sister, remember? You get one special present each. Anything? Anything within reason. Well, what does that mean? Her dad laughed. He knows what I want, what I've always wanted. That is the end of the chapter. And so here I will stop.